Well, our FCC license was renewed, so we're back for another day of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. I am Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your day with us here on your local TV station featuring local weather, local sports, local news, local personalities. We're all just a little local around here. Hey, it's Thursday and it's the 28th day of February. We're almost done with this month. For a lot of people, it's been a February to remember, especially weather-wise. We had more snow last night, as you may well know. Did we break a record for the snowiest February ever? That was set back in 1938. Wow, 81 years ago, something like that. Back in 1938, February of 38, they had almost 22 inches of snow. Going into yesterday's snowfall, we had officially measured for this month, February 2019, we had 19 inches of snow, so we needed about 3 inches to break the record. Did we get 3 inches? We don't know yet because they won't tally anything up until February is done, and February still has, 16 some odd hours to go. So we will know. We might know tomorrow on March 1st, Friday, March 1st. It might not be until Monday. They have to gather all the data and everything, but we could very well have the snowiest February since they started measuring these things, and that's been a long, long time. And it could also be, we're pretty sure about this, could also very well be the coldest February on record. Again, we won't know these hard numbers until February is over, and it's not over yet. It was another cold day yesterday. 28 was all we got to. Our normal high would be 46 yesterday, so we were 18 degrees below normal, and we were 10 degrees below normal for the overnight low. Every day this month, without exception, the high temperature has been either below normal or really below normal. It's been a very cold February, but things are going to quiet right down. We're done with the snow. We have a beautiful morning. Look at that shot from Omi Gardens. We're going to be in for quite a bit of sunshine, but these cold temperatures are not going anywhere. They say now for the next still couple of weeks. Well, it'll be March 10th, 11th, maybe 12th before we can finally moderate some temperatures and get the temperatures back up to where they're supposed to be. Hang in there, folks. So we're all looking forward to spring, and speaking of spring, we thought we'd just force it upon everybody by talking baseball. So in the second half of the program, Joel Norman and Allie Schank from the Wenatchee AppleSox will be dropping by, getting ready for their 20th anniversary campaign coming up in June. We're talking baseball with Joel and Allie in the back half of the show. We have cameos. We'll see if we can get Lapis the cat home. That comes with Megan McPherson at the bottom of the hour. Also, everyone is entitled to Mike Benotti's opinion. The state tournaments are underway in boys basketball and girls. How did Kashmir boys do last night? We'll let you know. Kashmir girls don't play till this morning. We'll also fill you in on how Brewster did. So we got sports coming up. The obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, and of course, your Thursday morning news headlines. It's the last day of February. The tray is in the upright position. Seatbelts are buckled. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Normally we start out with a cross camera, of course, but it is fogged over. In fact, you can see that fog bank. If you look right in the middle of your screen about where our cross camera is located, it is socked in. Now, these low clouds and fog, what little we have, are going to burn off rather rapidly, and we're in for quite a bit of sunshine. It's just going to be a very quiet weather pattern, but still cold. But it happens to be right at the same elevation as the cross camera, so we can't show it to you. So we have that beautiful view from Omi Gardens anyway, and we'll take that. The sun is creeping up over the East Wenatchee bench. We're gaining about 3 minutes of daylight a day as we get closer and closer to spring, and also closer and closer to daylight saving time. We'll be springing forward here coming up in just about 10 days or so. So there we go. We begin with Omi Gardens. Camera 2. Megan decided we're going to go see our friends in Kashmir. Is that correct, Megan? Megan says it is correct. She gives me the thumbs up. That's not bad at all. Look at the orchards. They're just hanging around there. Not much going on there. That is looking directly to the east. That's why you see the sun creeping up over the bench there. Good morning, Kashmir. We are, by the way, the number 12th rated local live television show in the greater Kashmir area. We're very proud of that. Camera 3, Megan says, hello and good morning to, that's Blag? Is that Blag Mountain? That's a thumbs up? No, she's waving at me. I don't know what she's doing to me anyway. It looks like the Blag Mountain camera, though it looks like it's moved a little bit. Normally you see a few more trees. Blag Mountain, of course, is up above the Shaston area. I don't know what we're looking at. I hope I'm not. Once again, I sound like an idiot on television. It's a long time tradition here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm sorry, Megan? That's okay. So I was right. So kind of. Anyway, that's Leavenworth. So that's actually the Tumwater Canyon. Well, it's. I guess I was wrong. Oh my. Camera 4. What are we looking at? Get me out of this, Megan. That's the Chelan Falls camera. That one I'm finally used to. Thank you very much. The mighty Columbia is rolling on. Boy, I bet you that water's cold. Cold, cold, cold. Everything's cold. Everybody's tired of the cold. Everybody wants to get out of this stuff and bust out of this cold temperatures. Well, it's a kind of a trade-off. We're done with the snow for, looks like quite some time. We don't have any snow at all in the forecast for the entire region, not just the Wenatchee Valley. And we're in for some sunshine as well. But the trade-off is the temperatures are still going to be well below normal. We're still under the influence of that Arctic blast. Let's take a look at your forecast from the National Weather Service, and that's what it looks like. 34 is going to feel downright balmy compared to what we've had. So the big weather story is cold, but it's going to be quiet. Lots of sunshine, 34 as you see. No wind at all. A little patchy fog develops in the overnight hours. That's perfectly understandable. 18 for the overnight low under mostly clear skies. Friday we do it again, sunshine and a high of 32. Saturday, just a couple of passing high clouds, so we'll call it partly sunny. More sun than clouds, but there'll be a few clouds on Saturday, high of only 30. Sunday, lots of sunshine, high about 27. Good weekend to go out and maybe do some skiing or some tubing or some snowmobiling, because it's going to be lots of sunshine and lots of snow to do it in. Just going to be chilly. Back at it on Monday, 28 and then 30. Look at these temperatures, just cold, just way cold for this time of the year. Tomorrow's March, and we start thinking about spring. Well, that's all you'll be doing is thinking about spring. Next chance of any kind of snow, and it's a super slight chance even at that, is going to be on Wednesday. And again, we hope at this time tomorrow, I wouldn't bet on it, but I hope at this time tomorrow, we'll let you know whether we set records for both cold temperatures for the month of February and all-time records for snowfall for the month of February. We may have those numbers for you tomorrow. Maybe Grant will have it for you for tomorrow afternoon's news. If not, we'll have it for you on Monday, all right? Let's take you up to the major mountain passes. Traction tire advisories across the board on the big three. That's a live shot of Snoqualmie Pass. Again, traction tires are advised. It looks pretty good. There's no snow coming down. There's clear skies up above, but there is some snow and ice on the roadway from last night's snow. So there's a traction tire advisory on I-90. Doesn't look too bad. Stevens Pass also has a traction tire advisory. They have compact snow and ice on the roadway there. And there's a traction tire advisory on Blewett. That's a live shot of Stevens, by the way. And finally, let's go to Blewett Pass. Traction tires advised. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. Again, clear skies up above. So there are advisories everywhere. Even on US 12 White Pass, they have a traction tire advisory. But there's no real snow at all in the forecast. Half an inch possible, and that's just residual stuff. And as I look at the forecast for the mountain passes, nothing. It's looking good. Lots of sunshine, very chilly temperatures. High temperatures will only be in the lower 20s, but there's no snow at all in the forecast. If you need to go over the mountain passes today, give it a couple of hours, let the plows make one little run through, and you should be good to go. There's also one other item of business I didn't get to. I want to do this right now. No school this morning, no school today, all day today, in the Moses Lake and Quincy school districts. Moses Lake and Quincy, no school today. You probably know that already if you go to those schools. And for the Waterville and Ephrata school districts, they're on a 2-hour delay. So enjoy your 2-hour late start for Waterville and Ephrata, and no school at all today for Quincy and Moses Lake. But don't forget, kids, you still got to make it up. You still have to do your 180 days. That's the law. 9 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. When we come back, your Thursday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 37 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I got into medicine because I love it. I have always had this love of the ideal of the family medical provider. I really enjoy those kind of visits where it's not a specific problem so much as it is talking about ways to live a healthier, happier life. I'm excited to play a role in the health and wellness of everyone in the Wenatchee Valley. I look forward to seeing you at CBCH.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Welcome back to this last day of February. I am Dan Kuntz. Mostly sunny skies, 19 degrees outside of our studios. We'll get up to about 34 or so, and then afternoon high temperatures, but lots of sunshine all the way into the early part of next week. Afternoon high temperatures will be in the lower 30s, so lots of sunshine, but still very chilly for this time of year. Here's what's making headlines. After hearing for almost 2 hours from parents, teachers, and students making their cases for sparing teachers, programs, and athletics, the Wenatchee School Board got down to the business of budget cutting on Tuesday. The board approved an option presented by Superintendent Brian Flonis that spares athletics, halftime counselors, and librarians from cuts. The district is facing a $5.2 million budget shortfall, and the plan presented by Flonis means that a lot of teachers who retire or resign will be replaced by moving existing staff members. The cuts amount to $4.5 million for next year. The remaining money will come from the reserve fund. A $17 billion 10-year transportation package introduced in the state Senate would raise the gas tax 6 cents a gallon and impose the nation's first ever carbon fee, something that voters have twice rejected. The proposal made by Steve Hobbs, who's a Lake Stevens Democrat and chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee. But as 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins told our very own Cal Fitzsimmons, the legislation probably won't be passed this session.
Well, I think in the past, voters have shown that they're not necessarily opposed to raising the gas tax for transportation projects. But at the same time, the voters have shown more than once that they're not in favor of imposing a carbon tax. Do you think it's palatable to lump the two together and not go against the will of the voters?
I don't believe this proposal by Chair Hobbs is viable this session. I think many of us believe it's in a way a conversational starter, but I think Chair Hobbs feels that anything is possible. There are some, as I mentioned, some significant investments to be made in our transportation infrastructure. There's also been a recent court decision related to culverts for fish that are currently blocking some fish passage opportunities. And so the state really needs to generate some revenue to do these things. In the past, there's just been this large reliance on the gas tax as the revenue source, but with the proliferation of electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, more fuel efficient vehicles, there is actually a little bit less gas consumed over time. And so the state either needs to increase those taxes, drive down the cost of the transportation projects, or find some additional source of revenue. And I think perhaps, I can't speak for Senator Hobbs, perhaps that's what he's trying to do. He foresees the possibility of some sort of carbon fee at some point in the future, and he wants to make it known that if there is going to be one, whether it's this session or in future sessions, that the revenues get redirected to transportation projects.
In other news, legislative related, 4th District Republican Congressman Dan Newhouse, the only House member from Washington State to vote against blocking President Trump's declaration of a national border emergency. The measure passed the House, by the way, on Tuesday, 245 to 182. Representatives Kathy McMorris Rogers of Spokane and Jamie Herrera Butler of Battleground, they were among the 13 Republicans who joined the Democrats in voting against Trump's declaration. 8th District Representative Kim Schreier voted in favor of rescinding Trump's order, but both McMorris Rogers and Herrera Butler said they still support the president's call for a wall on the southern border, but were concerned about checks and balances on executive privileges. Well, speaking of Congress, they've approved a major public lands legislation that affects all of north central Washington. The National Resources Management Act, which included a provision to withdraw $340,000 in 340,000 acres in the Methow Valley for consideration for mining. It passed the House Tuesday night. Senator Maria Cantwell co-sponsored and co-authored the bipartisan bill that she said includes significant wins for public lands across Washington state.
This legislation includes 4 provisions that will help firefighters improve their safety and effectiveness and bring state-of-the-art technology to combating wildfires. These provisions will help firefighters and communities, and we need to do everything we can as we see fire seasons extending and having more catastrophic events We need to give communities and firefighters every tool possible.
Cantwell's public lands package includes the Wildfire Management Technology Advancement Act, and that will increase safety for firefighters through the use of GPS and drone aircraft. The bill now goes to the president's desk for his signature. And finally, on this Thursday morning, all this week, we've been talking about the Horan House, which looks like it's in danger of being demolished. Our very own Caitlin Hittersheet has been working very hard to put together a brand new NCW Life magazine, and this morning, the history of the Horan House.
The Michael Horan House is a 2.5-story wood frame Victorian residence constructed in 1899 on the north side of the Wenatchee River, settled near the confluence of the Columbia. According to the National Register of Historic Places, the property is one of the best preserved Victorian residences in the region. While not many of the original artifacts of the home remain, the interior of the Horan House features a typical Victorian floor plan, with areas of the home remodeled to accommodate the restaurant located at the house since the 1980s. The Michael Horan House is historically significant for its association with a pioneer Wenatchee Valley rancher, orchardist, businessman, and civic leader. Horan, who lived in the valley in 1889, established the town's first butcher shop, helped form the first bank, developed a leading livestock ranch and orchard, served on the initial and subsequent city councils, and was named the first national apple king. Born in Stockbridge, Massachusetts in 1854, Horan traveled west in 1876 after his Irish immigrant parents died. Horan moved to the region from California in 1884, establishing a butcher shop in Roslyn and marrying his wife Margaret Rankin of Gle in 1888. By that time, the town of Wenatchee had been laid out along today's Miller Avenue. Arriving in 1889, Mike and Margaret Horan were the 12th family, and the meat market Horan opened was the 5th commercial enterprise in town. In the 1890s, the promise of a rail connection set off a boom in the region. According to a local historian who knew him, Horan was, quote, in on the planning of most of all the principal developments in early Wenatchee, unquote, during these formative years. In 1890, he was elected Kittitas County Commissioner, served as a county school director for many years, founded and was an original trustee of the town's first fraternal organization, the Junior Order of United American Mechanics. In March of 1892, Horan was elected chairman of a large public rally that voted to exclude Chinese from the Wenatchee area by, quote, honorable, legal, and lawful means, unquote. At the meeting, Horan was put in charge of implementing exclusion plans and stood his ground when questioned. In December of 1892, shortly after the city was incorporated, voters elected Horan to the town's first city council. In addition to his political involvement, Horan had a varied business career in Wenatchee. For the first few years, the Horans lived in the Miller log cabin until the Horan House was completed at the turn of the century. Horan's business expanded to fruit growing with a 23-acre orchard, and his pear orchard was considered the largest in the valley at the time. Horan helped organize and serve as a president of the Washington State Horticultural Association in 1901, with the valley following Horan's lead in orchard practices. Mike Horan died in 1919 with more than 800 mourners attending his funeral at the Masonic Temple and over 50 floral displays placed at his grave. Following Horan's death, the house and ranch were owned by his sons John and Walter. John Horan remained actively involved in orchard operations, as did his children and grandchildren. Walt Horan went on to serve as a U.S. Congressman. The Horan House was included on the National Register of Historic Places in the 1990s.
Fascinating stuff from Caitlin Hittersheet. And again, this is an NCW Life Channel magazine episode that you absolutely do not want to miss. We'll have another feature with the Horan House tonight with the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant Olson's in the anchor chair. Eric Granstrom is down in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. He's covering both the Cashmere girls and boys as their quest for a state title is underway. So Eric will be checking in down in Yakima with sports. Speaking of the Cashmere boys that came up on the short end of the stick, we'll have that in sports in just a couple minutes. So the Cashmere boys, young team, they'll be back, but their season came to an end last night to Kingsway Christian. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. So Eric will do sports from Yakima. Grant will be right here in the anchor chair. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock is your three chances to check out the news. 5, 6, and 10 on television. You can watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. That's one of those websites that you want to bookmark and go to it on a regular basis as we populate it on a regular basis. So the news with Grant at 5, 6, and 10, and also available on our website on demand just about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. In fact, all of our programs you can watch whenever you want to by going to the Watch Now and then Watch on Demand, and it drops down, and all of our locally produced programs are there for you to check out whenever you darn well feel like it. Bottom of the screen is all the different ways you can get a hold of us. So if there's something out there that you think needs our attention, give us a call, send us an email, go to our Facebook page and send us a message, contact us via our website, whatever the case may be. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to get a hold of us. We're going to take a break 21 minutes after the hour. When we come back, sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
And we are back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this final day of February. We've just had a dramatic change in the temperature. It just dropped down to 14 degrees here in the last half hour. We'll warm up with quite a bit of sunshine, they say, into the lower 30s. Sports for the Cashmere boys, they stumbled out of the gate at the State 1A tournament in Yakima yesterday, and they fell to Kingsway Christian, the final 67-52. Right from the opening tip, Kingsway Christian controlled the game. They hit from the inside with the drive there. Cashmere shooting and missing long-range threes, and that led to a three-pointer on the other end. All of this video courtesy of our good friend Eric Granstrom. Here's the transition three-pointer that I was just talking about. Kingsway Christian led 19-6 at the end of the first quarter, and they slowly salted the game away. Cashmere coach Levi Hayden told our very own Eric Granstrom after the game that simply his team wasn't quite ready for the big stage at the state tournament.
And when Cashmere tried to make a move in the second quarter, the Knights had an answer. Kingsway was led by the 18 points of Kalfani Kaysen. Mason Landeck led Cashmere with 15 points, while Carter Alberts and Sam Phillips each had 14. Once the game was out of reach, Coach Hyan pulled some players together on the bench for a message.
I'm just trying to get them up and rally them a little bit. Those are the 7 guys we have coming back. So that's going to be our core for next year. And just wanted to talk to them about, what they've done this year and what they've learned and what we can do, looking forward. But the biggest thing was just to remind them how we got here and to try to, let them know this isn't the end of the world and it sucks and we're all hurting. But we want to make sure that we remember that we have some time left and that we're gonna remember this feeling and hopefully we don't experience that again. But the biggest thing was just try to, bring them back a little bit and just say, it's okay. It happens, and you've worked hard. You deserve to be here, and you'll be back if you continue to work and get better. So, yeah, it's just, if you could, just give them a big group hug, but there's too many of them, but that's really kind of what it was.
So Kingsway Christian advances to today's second round with a 67-52 victory. Cashmere ends its season with a record of 17-7. The Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard tells the tale here on day 1 of the Hardwood Classic in the Sun Dome, with Cashmere falling as well as the Okanagan boys. Bellevue Christian came out on top in the late game last night, 61-52. So both entries to states from the Caribou Trail League are out. Turning to the girls' side of the tournament here, Cashmere will face Annie Wright this morning at 9 o'clock. The Gators used a big second quarter to wrestle the lead away from Zilla and hang on for a 71-67 win. So be sure and watch our Facebook page for live updates this morning at 9 o'clock as Casper takes on Bellevue Christian in their search for the gold ball. Now, depending on what happens today, will determine when they play tomorrow. If they win, they'll play tomorrow at 3:45 against the winner of Bellevue Christian and LaSalle. If they lose today, they'll play again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock against the loser of the Bellevue Christian LaSalle game. Here in snowy Yakima at the Hardwood Classic, I'm Eric Gradstrom on the NCW Live channel.
Thank you very much, Eric. Turning to Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard, the 2B tournament is going on in Spokane. Brewster girls stayed alive. Move on to day 2 of the tournament at the Veterans Memorial Arena. They downed Rainier yesterday, 53-48. The Lady Bears will take on Tri-Cities Prep today in the quarterfinals at 9 o'clock. The Brewster boys are already in the quarterfinals. They'll play Willapa Valley this morning at 9 a.m. Willapa Valley knocking Oroville out of the tournament yesterday morning. 58-44, the final there. The Lake Roosevelt boys advanced yesterday. They knocked off Liberty out of Spangle. The final there was 41-37. The Raiders will take on Life Christian Academy today at 2 o'clock in the quarterfinals. We're stuck with this snow, but it's nice and sunny and warm and dry in beautiful Arizona. Mariners continuing spring training. Seattle took on Cleveland yesterday. Jumped out to an early lead thanks to the long ball from Daniel Vogelbach.
Vogelbach, a left-handed hitter. The windup and the 3-1. Swing and a well-hit ball. Deep to right field. Going. Goodbye, baseball. Daniel Vogelbach with his first home run of the spring, and that was a laser. It got out of here in a hurry into the bleachers in right field here in Goodyear. Daniel Vogelbach giving the Mariners a 1-0 lead here in the top half of the second.
Big Bogey with his first homer of the spring. He's now 3 for 7. He waited and got the exact pitch that he wanted. And man, a lot of giddy up on that one.
Mariners scored 5 runs in the second, but they couldn't hold on. Cleveland came back. They won. There's your line score, 6-5. Seattle back home in Peoria today. Take on the Chicago White Sox shortly afternoon. Felix Hernandez, by the way, will take the mound for the Mariners. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 28th day of February, 27 minutes after the hour. The Obscura holiday, it's the 4th Thursday in February, and that means it's always National Chili Day. One of my all-time favorite dishes. Basically, it's a spicy stew. It always is. You know, you got to have your meat, you got to have your tomatoes, you got to have your Les Schwab scoreboard apparently pop up every now and again. The big debate among chili aficionados, and I'm one of them, beans or no beans. I'm a bean guy. You got to throw the beans in. History of chili, nobody really knows. It's usually attributable to the Latin community, but a lot of different cultures and countries contributed their own little bit to chili. And maybe that's what makes chili one of the most unique dishes in the world. There are no two chilies that are exactly the same. Now, I love chili, and I make my own chili, and I make a really, really good chili. Quite frankly, I'm quite proud of it. But almost everywhere you go, there's a different variation on chili. Of course, Cincinnati chili is chili, like you see there, only you eat it over pasta. You serve it over pasta with crackers and whatever. That's what they do in Cincinnati. You have the Texas chili. The key to the Texas chili is there's no beans in Texas chili. It also has a tendency to be a little bit spicy. You have green chili, which is basically native to New Mexico, and that green chili is usually made with pork and peppers and a variety of spices. And then you have the St. Louis Slinger, which is a hamburger patty, and then they put hash browns on top of that, and then they put 2 fried eggs on top of that, and then they cover it with chili and cheese and onions, and then you have the inevitable coronary, I guess. I don't know. I love chili. It's National Chili Day. I need to make more of my chili before it gets warm. Chili is one of those dishes that you eat this time of the year, for the most part. Happy National Chili Day. I'm craving some chili. Today in history, the 36th anniversary today is of the final episode of MASH, the series finale. Goodbye, Farewell, and Amanda aired. 106 million people watched this show. It still holds the record for the highest viewership and the highest rating and the highest share of any program finale. In fact, from 1983 until 2010, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amanda, the final episode of MASH, remained the most watched television broadcast in American history. It's been surpassed since then by a couple of Super Bowls. The final episode of MASH aired February 28th, 1983. I remember it well. February 28th, 1991. Today is the 28th anniversary of the end of the Gulf War. Kinda. Turns out we've been hanging around there ever since. The Gulf War, the very quick Gulf War, ended on this date when President Bush, as you see there from the New York time said, okay, I think they've had enough. We've liberated Kuwait. The Iraqis are about, we wiped them off the map, so the end of the Gulf War happened on this date 28 years ago today, kind of. And I remember February 28th, 2001 very well. If you were in the Pacific Northwest, you remember the Nisqually earthquake, boink. You remember that? 6.8 earthquake at 10:54 a.m. on February 28th, 2001. It was a beautiful day here in Wenatchee. I don't know if you lived here, you remember. It was a gorgeous February day. Lots of sunshine. It was about 60 degrees. I was on my lunch break. I was sitting at home, sitting out on the deck, as a matter of fact, reading a book. And about a minute before the quake struck, my cockatiel started acting very strange. She started making all kinds of noises that she had never made before, and she was just flittering around her cage, and it came out of nowhere. I went in there, and I was checking, are you okay, Belle? What's going on? And she was just kind of freaking out. And I just, okay. And this was about a minute before the quake, and I went back, and I sat back out on the deck chair, and then the ground started shaking. I believe in that. They say, you know, that the animals know before it actually happens. I'm a believer of that. The Nisqually earthquake, 18 years ago today. And finally, we got some birthdays at 31 minutes after the hour. The legendary Dean Smith coached the University of North Carolina for 36 years, won a couple of national championships. When he retired, he had 879 career victories, which was the most of all time. A couple of national championships and 11 appearances in the Final Four. Dean Smith, born in the state in 1931, passed away in 2015. The man who founded the Rolling Stones, no, it wasn't Mick Jagger, no, it wasn't Keith Richards, it wasn't Bill Wyman, it wasn't Charlie Watts, it was Brian Jones, who was born in the state in 1942, passed away drowning in his backyard swimming pool at the age of 27. Bill Wyman said this about Brian Jones: he formed the band, he picked the members, he named the band, he chose the music we played, he got us gigs, and he got us a recording contract. The man who founded the Rolling Stones, Brian Jones. And finally, Mario Andretti is 79 years old today. The only driver in history to win the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, and the Formula One World Championship. The great race car driver, Mario Andretti, is 79 years old today. 32 minutes after the hour, everybody's entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. That's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But first, it's Thursday. That means Kettle Cameos with Megan McPherson on the NCW Life channel.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us this week is Lapis, and she's staying inside her cage today just because she's a little skittish because her eyesight isn't very good, right?
Yeah, she has some visual impairments and we don't know the extent of where that is. She's a little skittish, a little slow to trust just because she can't see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you saw, she wasn't quite sure she wanted to come out and say hi to us today.
And what kind of home life is she looking for?
Lapis is going to need a quiet home. Probably no children. I would say no other animals. A lot of times when animals will have visual impairments, it's just hard for them to be around other animals because they feel threatened. And so just somewhere that's very nice and quiet, someone that has time to take it slow with her. An adult-only home with no other pets would be her preferred and less stress kind of location for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to adopt her, what should they do?
They should come visit her at the shelter, get to know her. We do have get acquainted rooms that are separate from what we would be doing, where they can go in, really spend some quiet, quality time, see if Lapis is going to be a good fit, see if that relationship is going to work, then they can adopt her and take her home today.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Put winter weather in its place with a new Cub Cadet snow thrower from Rose Tractor. Hi, this is Corey. Let us help you get through the season with our line of Cub Cadet snow throwers. When it comes to snow, never let winter weather get in your way. The Cub Cadet X Series line of snow throwers offers 3 levels of snow clearing power and a host of award-winning models. Get ahead of the snow. Let us help you get into the right snow thrower for the job. Rose Tractor, family owned and operated, located at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, has become kind of a fad mental health diagnosis. People claim to have it or believe that experience such as having to go through a metal detector at a school can bring it on. Sorry, but no. The criteria for PTSD diagnosis, and I quote from the DSM-5, is exposure to actual threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence. Believe me, folks, PTSD is a serious diagnosis, and the symptoms are miserable. No one who understands the terrible significance of having PTSD would ever claim to have it if, in fact, they didn't. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV Advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Oh, we're coming in on this camera. Yeah, it's television. What do you do? Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Kuntz. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's this long, cold, nasty winter. I'm sick and tired of it. Bring on spring. Bring on baseball. Bring on AppleSox baseball. Specifically, and here to talk about AppleSox baseball, some of the new promotions and all the things going on. To my far left, he's been on the show before. He's the voice of the AppleSox, handles media relations. His name is Joel, I Need a Haircut Norman. And to my immediate left is Allie Schank, who is new to the area and new to the organization. Welcome to television, Allie.
Thank you.
What do you think so far?
So far, so good. We'll see.
Tell the folks at home a little bit about Allie.
A little bit about Allie. All right, so I'm a native Georgia resident. I graduated from the University of Georgia in May of 2018, along with Joel, who graduated from West Virginia back then. And I know everyone knows about Joel because he's been here so many times. But so I've been working for the AppleSox since May. I love it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Your uncle called you up and said, I bought myself a baseball team. Her uncle is the owner. Oh, by the way, I love you. He's really cool. He's a really neat guy. I like him. I very enjoy visiting with him. And you're out of college and you need a job, so here you are.
Yeah, yeah.
So is the culture shock of going from Atlanta to Wenatchee, Washington a bit of a struggle, or?
It's different. I'll give you that. You know, going from like 7 million people to
Yeah, well, there's 7 million people here.
Yes,
They're just they're hibernating.
Spread out.
Yeah, it's spread out. That's what it is. Well, welcome to Wenatchee.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. What does your job entail with the organization?
Ooh, okay. So
the questions are going to get harder as we go along now, Allie.
All right. I'm prepared. So for my position, I handle the bookkeeping. Of course, we have someone who's outside the company who also helps with that as well. But I do the bookkeeping. I do the finances. I do some of the social media. So I help Joel out with some of the graphics, stuff like that.
She does it all. She's doing it.
So you're Joel's boss. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Basically, you better watch what you say.
Is this a career move for you, or is this just a holding pattern or do you want to get into this kind of?
I've always wanted to be involved with sports.
Okay.
I played sports up until I was in college. I've been the competitive athlete my whole life.
Okay.
I definitely wanted to continue with that as my career, and baseball was not my first choice, but I do love the sport, so it's an easy sport to transition into for sure.
Well, as my viewers know, baseball is my favorite sport, so I enjoy that. We're going to visit with Allie a little bit more because she brought some cool stuff with her, some neat swag. Swag means I get it. I'm not taking it. They need it. But first of all, Joel, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Press release, some changes on the field for coaching staff. This is all exciting stuff. Talk about Tyler and talk about Mr. Prater. You go.
Yeah, Tyler Von Drasek has been added as our new pitching coach for the 2019 season. We're really excited about what he brings to the team. He's a good guy. He's been coaching alongside Coach Kyle Crust-Angel and assistant coach Cash Ulrich over at Yakima Valley. And I think, if you're following the NWAC at all, you know the success they've had there. They won it all in 2016. They were runners-up last season. They've been right there every year they've been there, the 4 years that they've been at the helm there. They've done a great job there, and Tyler's been a part of that staff, and now he's going to come over and join us. He got promoted to their pitching coach for this season, which just started up last weekend. Now he's going to take on the same role with us. Coached with Cowitz last season, and we
stole him. Yeah, stole him from a rival.
Away, and he's now with us. We're happy to have him as an AppleSox.
In fact, we have a photo from the press release of the guys holding up some hardware from the last couple of years, and that's one of the things that Kyle and Tyler have had a long working relationship, and he knows exactly what Tyler is bringing to the table.
Yeah, they've been working together for 5 years, 4 seasons now. This will be, I think, season number 5 now, and they just get along really well. Kyle's liked him as a guy who he's talked about with us plenty of times before, and we're really excited to add him onto the staff. I think teams are going to see maybe some improved pitching this coming year. We're looking forward to that this year.
It's all about pitching. There's the shot I'm talking about. That's some good-looking hardware.
There it is. Yeah.
Right there. Is Tyler going to help Kyle in the recruiting area as well? hey, coach, there's this guy who's got he's a lefty, he can throw 90. Let's get him on the team. Is he part of that process?
All the coaches, it's a conversation. You do some research on some guys, but a lot of times, that's going to be just Kyle doing that. You get some help from him. You get some input from Cash and Tyler as well. But a lot of that's mostly Kyle, I would say, for the most part, the connections he has, the people he reaches out to. But, every once in a while, our assistants know someone as well, and they're great assets in that area.
Well, it helps if you're a hell of a personable guy, and Kyle is certainly that. I love having him on the team, and I don't want to say he's an AppleSox legend, but I'll say it. He was one of the very best baseball players ever to come out of Wenatchee High School. I'm talking about Jacob Prater. Then he was a part of the team, and now he's coming back in a coaching deal. As we throw up the picture of Jacob, talk about that decision.
Yeah, Jacob Prater's going to be added as a volunteer assistant next year. He's going to work pretty much almost all the home games, some road games as well, kind of as his schedule works. He's a volunteer assistant, so he's purely doing this, as he'd say, for love of the game. He wants to get into coaching after his collegiate career. He's getting graduated from Seattle U after this coming season here, and just kind of wants to stay involved in baseball. He knows that maybe it's not in the future to play on the field, but a lot of guys continue their careers as coaches, and Jacob's really looking forward to getting his start with us. He's going to kind of assist us in different ways. He's going to help with both offensive and defensive strategy. What that will mean is going to be something that we have to talk to Kyle about. And Cash, they said they want to kind of have another set of eyes in the dugout, because Cash a lot of times has done a lot of that stuff, but he's got plenty of responsibilities. His title seems really general as just an assistant coach, but Cash is doing a lot of stuff like defensive alignments for how the outfielders are playing, noticing little things in a guy's swing. So it's nice to have another set of eyes there to kind of help him out in the dugout.
Well, he was always a fan favorite. I mean, the AppleSox fan just loved Jacob Prater, and he played with the team for 3 years too. So I'm glad that he's making that transition from playing into coaching, and this is as good as an organization in the Pacific Northwest to start getting your coaching stripes as the AppleSox, isn't it?
Yeah, we like to think so.
Yeah.
Decent amount of success. 6 championships overall. We're hoping to get back in the playoffs this year, and we hope Jacob will be a big part of that. He's been, like you said, great player for us. 2 years ago, led our team in batting average. Guy who gets on base, who can play every position. He's that kind of guy you want to turn into a coach, because he's kind of selfless. He'll do whatever he has to do to help the team win. And it's a big reason why he won our inaugural award last year, the Tommy Watanabe Award. Of course, named after our late teammate, just because it was someone who showed his passion for the game similar to how Tommy did, and the two were great friends when Tommy was on the team as well. So Jacob just he exemplifies what it is to be a Wenatchee AppleSox.
Hometown boy makes good. I just loved it. I love those good stories. Allie, explain what you brought. First of all, this is really cool. Explain this while I hold this up to the camera. Are these new uniforms for this year?
Yes, so those are our new 20th season uniforms.
Wow.
So
thus the 20 on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, brought that number intentionally.
Yeah. So this is what the team will be wearing for home games, or there'll be alternate uniforms, or is that it? Do you know, or do you want to?
Well, it kind of depends on what the coaches. Yeah. I was explaining to Allie yesterday. A lot of times, the starting pitcher that day decides.
Gets to decide. Sure.
Yeah, what jersey. That's baseball tradition. But I think the guys are going to want to wear these a lot. And Allie killed it with the designs of these, I think.
Did you do the design?
So
somebody did. It's really good. I love it.
So Ed Nags, our old coach, is actually our BSN rep, and so he works with us, and so he and I helped. We worked together and we created the design together.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I really like it a lot. And it's got what's it got on the left sleeve? I didn't see that.
It has our
20th anniversary patch there.
Yeah. Price tag. No, the 20th logo. I don't know if you can see that.
So for AppleSox fans, can they get this stuff like now? Can they go to the office and start buying this, or is this a team jersey? And because people are going to want to wear this, I can guarantee you that.
For the jersey, since this is a limited edition item, we are actually not going to start selling the jersey until the season starts.
Okay.
But we will be auctioning off all the player-worn jerseys that are the special 20th edition ones at the end of this season. So.
Okay. Well, I have Ed's phone number. I'll just give Ed Nags a call.
It's a custom one, right?
Yeah, pull one aside for me. That's cool. Hats too.
Yes.
Love the hats.
Yeah. So going along with our 20th season, we have a new addition to our players' caps. So we have our regular blue caps that we wore on field last year, but we're also adding an alternate cap so that the players aren't getting those as sweaty and as dirty.
Yeah, they're nasty come the end of the year, so they get a red option as well.
Yeah, and in addition to our second hat, so we also have a special addition to our 20th year anniversary. So these were created specifically for our 4th of July, that series. And so those are created they're basically just going to wear these on like very special like game days.
Okay,
But,
like
yeah.
Dan Kuntz Appreciation Day or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
You mentioned 4th of July, always a packed house, absolutely packed house. Every year around the Independence Day holiday, they have the fireworks display. Seats are almost impossible to find. It's a great night to be had. So that's back in. Any new promotions this year? You mixing things up? Some of the classics coming back? That's your department. What do you got
We
in
have
the
a
hopper?
few new ones.
Can
so
you let the cat out of the bag?
We're allowed to, right?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Go ahead.
Alright, just making sure people can know. So we are doing 2 bobblehead nights actually. So we're doing a Marco Gonzalez one, and that'll be in August.
Okay.
And then we're doing a Coyote bobblehead one, and that's sponsored by Denny's currently.
Okay, cool.
So,
good. I love my bobbleheads.
I know you love your bobbleheads. You
What
got-
about the between inning promotions? Folks, some of them are just classics. Day one when the kids race the Coyote. I mean, everybody loves that. And
Yeah, a lot of the familiar ones, I would say,
Yeah.
coming back. But another one we're bringing back from the dead. It's been gone for a couple of years, but the ketchup mustard race can confirm it will be back in 2019.
When I was the PA guy, I loved calling the mustard and ketchup race. And
What
then-
would you root for? That's my question.
Yeah, and then occasionally the relish would pop in there too.
Yeah. Relish might make some appearances.
Okay.
But no, we will have ketchup and mustard back this year.
Good. I love it. Is it tough to go to work and you go out to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium and it's covered in snow and you're going, is spring ever going to come? And you're stuck back in the office and you're just itching to go?
Well, we went yesterday, actually. We were taking pictures with the jerseys there yesterday. You'll probably see that on our website later. But we got some pictures there. I just love going to the ballpark as much as I can. Every time I get there, I'm tempted to go back up into the broadcast booth and sit down and call a make-believe game right there. But, I mean, boy, I just need some baseball back soon here. But, no, it's just nice getting up there. It looks different, certainly covered in snow. But, yeah, you miss the ballpark, I think, this time of year, especially with spring training just starting up recently.
And by the way, in case you missed it, they made some significant improvements to the ballpark. There's no more gravel and dirt anymore. It's all paved over. You don't have to worry about dirt kicking up and everything. It's the improvements of, it was already a beautiful ballpark anyway, Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, and now it's an even better place to go watch a little baseball, isn't it?
Yeah, a few less rocks in your shoes.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw out on the drive home. So, that's a nice perk, of course. But, I mean, boy, I always tell people I think we've got the best ballpark in the league because of that view. You look out past right field, you see Badger Mountain, especially when the sun's setting behind you. I don't know if there's a better way to end a summer evening in the state of Washington, or even, heck, I'll throw Oregon in there since they're on the West Coast side too. But I don't think there's a better way to end a night than that way. So we're really looking forward to more summer nights coming up this summer.
How's Coyote doing? What's he been doing this winter? Just hibernating or what?
Right now he's kind of on a vacation. He's getting fixed up a little bit. So.
Did he ever catch the Roadrunner?
No, he's still working on that. Last we saw him was in Arizona.
It was in Arizona.
But then he had to go for some repairs. So
Yeah.
calling it quits for a little bit.
While we have you here, host families, where are you on that? Are we cool? Do you want to put the plug in now for possible folks to play host to some players coming up this summer?
You can never have too many host families. You can never have too many pitchers and never have too many host families. We're always looking for people to house our players. I stayed with the host family last summer, and just having people there to kind of show me the community a little bit as I was trying to get my feet underneath me just with moving out a week after graduating. Something like what Allie did was just it was nice to have a family there to make me feel at home, even though it was across the country from where I had been from. So host families, they do that even for guys who are from the state of Washington that are just coming here for the summer. We're always interested in having them, and always shoot us an email if you're interested in being on info@applesox.com.
It's great to have an AppleSox player stay with you. It's a lifelong connection. The kids will tell you that. The AppleSox players will tell you that. You'll be exchanging Christmas cards for the next 50 years. And it's especially cool if you have a young boy or girl who's just into baseball. It changes their life. If you got a 7 or 8 year old kid and they have an AppleSox player staying with you, they become part of the family, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what our coaching staff strives for when they recruit players. You want great ball players, but you also want fantastic role models because there's a lot of kids in the community who are watching, and that's a big thing. If you want to make it professionally, you've got to be great on and off the field. So we take a lot of pride in that, and we're proud of the players that we have lace up, the red, white, and blue each summer.
I can't believe it's 20 years. 20 years of AppleSox baseball. That's just insanely crazy. Schedule set. You're ready to go, right? I mean, it's you just come on, snow melt, and let's get the kids in here.
We're getting there. It's coming up fast here. Opening day just a few months away. It's just once you get into March here in a couple of days here now, it's going to be continuing to be like, all right, we got a couple X months now going into the baseball season. It's just we're counting down the days pretty much. every week. We say, all right, now we're at this point of the week, this time, a couple months we'll be playing baseball again. So, boy, it's a grind, the off season.
Allie, anything you want to add before we cut you loose? I know you're a busy woman. You got to have breakfast. She hasn't eaten breakfast yet.
Sorry.
Okay. Can I get you some cheese or some lobster or something? Nothing like that?
No, I'm good.
Nothing on that?
I'm
Cool.
on a diet today.
What's it going to take to get you on the show on a regular basis? I want to be able to talk AppleSox baseball a couple times a month once we get going.
Very interested in doing something like that. We'd love to keep the conversation going. Even the off season, you see, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Boy, fans know there's plenty going on in season as well. I'd love to make it happen.
Joel, I'm going to give you the phone number of the guy who cuts my hair.
There you
go. take care of that.
For the record, I haven't gotten haircuts since August, so.
Really?
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
We'll be cut before the start.
You wouldn't know, Joel. You really wouldn't. Joel Norman, the voice of the AppleSox, coming up. Of course, I go to the home games and I listen to Joel on the away games. That's he calls a great game. He really does. It gets you into
Appreciate
it.
that.
And Allie Schank, again, welcome to the big city.
Thank you.
You got out of that tiny little hamlet of Atlanta with nothing going on. You're bored on weekends, and then you get to the big city of Wenatchee, and there's theater and all kinds of great stuff going on.
I heard no one even goes to that airport.
Yeah. I got lost in Jackson Hartfield Airport one time.
Oh, really?
Where's my connecting flight? Oh, it's 9 miles that way.
Yikes.
Go AppleSox. We'll see you guys soon,
Absolutely.
all right?
Let's go Sox.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
I'm working today.
I've got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Just about a minute to go on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're back here live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee. Let's take one more look at that weather forecast from the National Weather Service. The good news, we are done with the snow for the foreseeable future. Plus, we got lots of sunshine right into the weekend, with the exception of a couple of high clouds on Saturday. But again, cold, 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 cold. These temperatures that you all see well below normal. Today is the 28th day of February, and our normal afternoon high would be 47 degrees. We'll be lucky if we get to 34. So all of these temperatures are either going to be below normal or well below normal. Yes, we've had a lot of snow for the month of February. We've had 19 inches of snow. Did we break the record for the snowiest February ever since they started keeping track of these things? And that's been a long, long time. We may know by the end of the day tomorrow. We still have to wait for February to be in our rearview mirror, and it's not there yet. Maybe tomorrow afternoon with Grant Olson in the news, but I think it's a distinct possibility we could have not only the snowiest February since records were kept, but the coldest February since records were kept. Both of those certainly within the realm of possibility. My guest tomorrow, our old friend Arch Ecker. The Wild begin their defense of the BCHL Fred Page Cup tomorrow, this weekend at the Town Hall Center. Arch will be here tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.